I saw them take a Nokia, one of the old school ones, the first phone I had, maybe, or the one my mom had, the first one she had, that blue Nokia block phone, and they put 1 million volts through the charge port. They hooked it up with this crazy apparatus. I don't understand electricity enough to know how it works, but they've amplified up 1 million volts and they're putting it into this thing. And he's just like Dr. Frankenstein, giving it the juice. And the thing's going wham, wham, and bolts of plasma are shooting out of it to the top and to the sides. Like it looks like fire, but it's plasma. It's the electricity arcing through the air and ionizing. And then they're like, all right, that's enough. Back it off. Because it hasn't broken or burnt. They unconnect it. They turn it on. It's got full battery.
I saw something that I think was equally true. They put the Nokia phone under a hydraulic press and the press broke.
All right, that's not true.
I did see it.
I saw that too. They made the top of the press out of like Play-Doh.
Foam or something.
It's a great video.
There's no way it didn't break after putting 1 million volts. But I also don't understand electricity.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't understand electricity at all. And my wife, who has the same level of understanding of electricity as me, is describing the route through which the lightning bolt went through her car and why she thinks it took out like various computers. So if people don't know, it seems like lightning hit a tree next to Jackie's car. It seems like it might have entered through the side view mirror. And from there, it's just magic. I have no idea. But I know the mirror was blown off the side. And then both of the front tires on my truck won't hold air anymore. I have to fill them every time I drive the truck because I'm too lazy to get it fixed. So we've had some real lightning damage. Garage door stopped working. But for her to detail like which ECU to ECU, like looking at a schematic of the computer she thinks the lightning traveled through, I don't know why she has any level of confidence in this, but she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only way to guess would be like, that's destroyed, this is ruined. Oh, it didn't want to go to the center console because the napkins and pens are in there.
I'm hating the way this whole situation is getting down, and I might get more involved because this is what's happened. I call up my insurance company, and I'm like, hey, look, I think that this car was struck by lightning. First, we thought a deer freaked out because the side view mirror was blown off, but if you look more carefully, there's like a lightning bolt in the side view mirror, and there's electrical damage. For people who don't know, the car is completely unresponsive. Power doors, power windows, nothing works. The start button doesn't work. The rear turn signals are just steady on. That's the only symptom. Just that. Okay, cool. So we call up USAA and they're like, take it to Gerber Collision. We work with them. And I was like, oh, okay, but like this has dealer written all over it to me. I'm no expert. I'm out of my field, but like ECUs getting replaced and programmer, computers getting swapped. That doesn't sound like some collision store. That's the dealer. So we take it to the collision store that the insurance company said to take it to, and they're instantly like, well, we'll tow it to the dealer for you. Thanks for that. So there's two dealers in our area. One is these fuck shits that try to rate me every time I go there. I'm working out. And for example, I call them up. I say, I'd like an oil change. And they're like, cool, we got you. And I get there and there's a bill for like this 30,000 mile service that includes everything under the sun. And I'm like, no. I didn't say this car has 21,000 miles. Why did you think I wanted the 30,000 mile service when the words were oil change? Yeah. And they started trying to give me this song and dance as to why I wanted it. Long story short, I got them to fix the price. But I hate them. That hasn't changed. So I told the collision place to take it to a different dealer that I don't really have any experience with. And they took it to the one I hate. The one I hate is saying it's totaled. And not even that. They're saying it will cost $4,600 to determine if it's totaled. And I just feel like, I don't know, a little noob.
It's a bad deal.
Go on Amazon and you can get a device that'll read that computer. If the computer's taking any charge, that's the device they need. They're full of shit. That's awful. That they're saying just to diagnose whether it's total, but it is total. It is total. If just the parts alone and then the time but you don't want the car after the repair is done is the other thing. This is as bad as water damage, if you ask me.
Can I pause there?
Yeah.
So like water damage and some kinds of damage, like little things crop up for the rest of your car's life, and that sucks. I didn't know that electrical was like that. I thought that like once it worked, you're like, all right, we got all the things fixed. It'd show itself immediately.
I would be so afraid of a modern car with as many computers as are in them now that one of them was stressed and they were like, oh, that one's still, yeah, it's sending back the 403 code. We're good. Leave it. And it's like, well, it's not good though. It's just barely sending back the 403 code or something. I don't know. I just feel like that whole wiring harness probably has to be replaced. Like they've got to gut that car. And you know how dealerships are. What do they charge per hour? How many mechanics are working on this thing? How many specialists have to show up?
Right.
The computers alone. It's going to be multiple computers.
So you think it almost sounds like you're saying, hey, Woody, this dealership that's just calling it totaled without barely looking into it, stay there. They'll total it.
Oh no, I get out of there. If you don't
to
like
your
it,
next
fuck them. I always want to get away from people I don't like. So fuck.
But if I go
twice,
to a different dealer, they might say it's not totaled.
I mean, well, then you can always go back. This is like code names when people want to guess, and it's like, hey, you can't win here, but you can lose. Why don't we wait till next round?
True.
So I don't think you can win right now at your current dealership, but by going to the other one, you can't lose. I would want that. I always want that second opinion with everything that's going to cost more than $50, I guess. It's like, what do you think? Oh, that guy's an idiot. Don't listen to him. Oh, I'm glad I talked to you first.
The other thing that you might not, none of this is my money. Like I asked the insurance company specifically. I'm like, okay, let's say the car is worth 30 grand. I don't know. But they charge $5,000 to tell you it's totaled. How much do you get? How much do I get? And they're like 3,500 or 35,000. I did the math wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, I can't lose. It seems like
whatever. All right. Well, if you can't lose, then your only advantage would be wasting a bit more of you and your wife's time to stick it to the current dealership, which you'd want to tell them at some point for it to be worth it as well. Just so you know, guys, I need this car back at ASAP, hauling it across town, hoping to give them the business. Because fuck that guy right there. Steve? Yeah, you, Steve, you cocksucker. Steve's the reason I'm taking this $35,000 down the road.
Yeah.
I'm more petty than most, though. I'd have also found out where Steve lives by now.
Is a lightning strike not considered an act of God?
Yeah, sure, right?
Why do you ask?
I don't know. I always see stuff on TV that's like, well, that's an act of God. We don't cover that.
That's what you insure for. You insure for acts of God.
Yeah, no, I don't have collision. I always thought like, look, we haven't hit anything that required like real help in 30 years now. If our car gets totaled, I'll just get another one and take it on the chin. But by and large, insurance costs more than accidents. They make sure of that, on average. So whatever. But I do have act of God insurance. And it turns out that's good.
Yeah, I would just cash it in then. Like, are you going to get the same car? Do you think? It's probably up to her.
She didn't love it, so I think we're looking elsewhere.
Even better.
Yeah,
take the total.
All right. She loved her 4Runner. Really loved her 4Runner. She had it for a long time. Hit everything she could find with it. Yeah, and just really enjoyed it. But she ran that car until it was done. 275,000 miles, something like that. Impressive. And eventually, all the parts like that you could see on the outside, like the fan and the belt and whatever, they stopped turning. Silver dust is flying everywhere, and this is a car coming on 300,000 miles. So we
silver dust.
So like bits of metal, like
yes, yeah.
Silver dust. Using it in the mine?
I'm no scientist.
There's bits of metal flying off the engine. I thought, honey, maybe 10 more thousand miles, but
the alternator stopped working. I charged it so we could drive it to the dealer. And traded it in. And,
yeah, that's good. That's dangerous.
So we were going to get another 4Runner, but the year we got it, 2020, the 4Runners hadn't been updated for a long time. I want to say it didn't have Apple CarPlay, which is like a must for us, and it just looked dated. But this Highlander, it was either updated that year or the year before, and everything about it was like fancy and better and appropriate for her mission. But it turned out she just didn't love it. So we're going to try to find something she likes more.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nothing wrong with the car, except it's bitch made with regard to lightning. My truck got struck too. All it has is 2 flat tires.
That's crazy. Wow. What did you do?
Maybe it was a weaker strike.
Upset the Lord.
You know what it was, Kyle? Remember post-show last week when we were talking to Wendigoon and you said, I was talking to Taylor, and we both agreed that we would not do a joke about selling our soul to the devil.
Yeah. I wanted to do a bit on the show where Woody sold his soul to the devil, but I didn't even suggest it to him because I was like, I know that he's an atheist, but he wouldn't sell his soul to an like, all right, here, imagine this is the bit. A guest comes on the show and he has sent Woody the paperwork already, and there's a lancet in there and everything. He's got to prick his thumb, put a bloody fucking thumbprint on a real contract that says that this man, as an arbiter for Satan himself, gains access to Woody's eternal soul. And it's a well-written contract and everything. I wouldn't sign the contract, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't go through with it. I will
sell you my soul for a crisp $20 bill every week.
You know,
I'll just make it a recurring.
That's the Halloween episode. We got to find someone to buy his soul.
Kyle, you want to go in on, want to split Woody's soul? $10?
I so want to buy his soul. Let's both give him $10 and we will be co-owners of his soul.
What if, like, immediately our lives improve and his collapse? Like immediately.
Your bench goes up 75 pounds. You're like, what happened?
Well, that makes sense. God. You guys would have split mine. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just get more powerful in every way. But every week, Woody looks like the guy from Thinner. He's just like becoming tiny. Like the crypt. He's turning into the crypt keeper a week.
He's looking more and more like a Mexican alien. Every single week, just kind of crisping up and fading away, just eyes sinking further and further into his skull.
Like, hey, about that soul, and we're like, I don't have it with me. You know, I'll remember next week, and we don't remember next week.